If it's your first time catching one of my live broadcasts, my name is Tabitha Christopher of tabithachristopher.com. I am a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an auntie to three Power Pack World Changers, about to be auntie of four Power Pack World Changers. Whoop, whoop. I'm also the creator and founder of the Mind Style Makeover Bootcamp, which is a character and resilience building training program for students in college and high school, providing them with a roadmap to succeed academically, athletically, socially, and emotionally. I want to welcome you. I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to have the most amazing time tonight. It is a great time right now to save this talk. And if you're watching this, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on platform X, Instagram, Facebook. Are we on Facebook tonight? No, we're not on Facebook tonight. Let me just make sure real quick. No, we're not. And we're also on Instagram. Okay, so if you're watching this at any one of the platforms, go ahead and save this video. And if you go back and can't find it, always go to my YouTube channel where all of our Mind Style Makeover Monday chats are saved. Now, what is tonight's chat going to be about? Well, tonight's chat is going to be about the one thing that no one can avoid and how most people don't handle this one thing well. And it can often lead to poor decisions that will affect one's health and relationships. And tonight, I'm going to make sure to leave you with three things of what you can do to be one of the few people that handle this one thing well so that you can effectively navigate to successfully maintaining your health and relationships. Now, why should you watch? Well, you should watch for three reasons. Reason number one is you should watch if you're curious to find out what that one thing is. Reason number two you should watch is if you desire to be one of the few people who handle this one thing well. And then reason number three would be if you're a fellow trailblazing friend and you just enjoy our weekly Mind Style Makeover Monday chats that happens right here across all of my social media platform. Any one of those reasons, tune right in. Now, here is the challenge. Every single human who's ever lived or is living now or will live in the future will experience this one thing. Unfortunately, most of us have not, or right now are not, handling this one thing well when it happens to us. That one thing that I'm talking about is pain. 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 All right. Now, for those of you that don't know the snapshot of my story, I go into depth about it more so in my keynote presentations that I deliver at youth empowerment summits, youth conferences, for high school students and college students, or for church youth groups, community outreach events. And I share about having grown up in a home where there was physical abuse. And so my pain stemmed from abusive trauma from childhood. All right. Now, as I made a decision from observing in my everyday life how certain adults in my circle were handling pain. I saw where my grandfather, one of my uncles, they chose to handle pain with alcohol, right? To try to numb that. I saw, where others that I didn't know very well, they chose to handle their painful situations by involving themselves in other recreational drugs. And so I made the decision that how I was going to handle pain was my escape was going to be through a healthy choice, which would be exercise. Unfortunately, the more the pain intensified, the more the exercise, workouts, and trainings would intensify for me. And so the greater the pain of the exercise. And my goal was to make my physical body feel more pain than the internal pain that I was struggling with on the inside of feeling insecure, feeling fearful of anyone else finding out that my personal life was far from perfect, um, or the fear of individuals who were causing the pain to find out that their actions were having such an impact on my mental health. So and this eventually led to my body experiencing toxic stress buildup internally, and then also, that led to a few health scare bouts. One to the point of where my heart nearly exploded during a training session, and so this this result of how I handle pain nearly cost me my life, not once but multiple times, because I was full of pride and I was also full of fear. Pride and fear go hand in hand, and I just wasn't ready to face it. Okay, and another thing that I noticed that I was making decisions of was I had an unhealthy codependency to unhealthy toxic relationships, meaning people that were experiencing pain within their life, and they actually loved having it because they wanted to have something to talk about. They wanted some drama for people to feel sorry for them about, so they never really wanted solutions to shift away from it, because then what would they have to talk about? I found myself, these people, magnetizing towards me. I didn't want that in my life, but at the same time, it provided me an escape to not have to face my own personal pain. So then I found myself in this in unhealthy, codependent, on unhealthy relationships. So again, to take the focus off of my own stuff. Now, when pain is not handled well, it could lead to feelings of shame, fear, insecurity, frustration, anger, doubt, doubting in one's ability to do something well, doubting others, the trust that you have in yourself, you lose that, and so you lose trust towards others, becoming very judgmental, very self-conscious, condemning, all of those negative emotions, which could then lead to actions such as avoidance of the pain, full issue, or the person who may be the cause of that pain. And that avoidance could look different for many people, whether it's shopping, whether it's extreme workout routines, that was me, whether it's alcohol, whether vaping, smoking, promiscuity, eating, overeating, whatever your vice is that you may find. It may be playing video games, it may be scrolling through social media, right? It may be binge watching on favorite television shows, or maybe it's not even your favorite TV show. You're just basically binge watching on anything just to distract your mind away from that painful issue or that painful situation with that individual, right? So you're trying to avoid this issue and whatever that thing is that you go to avoid it. So now, because it's not being dealt with, it's not being faced, it's not being taken care of in a healthy way, it's only going to lead to you being easily controlled by others and life circumstances, which will then make you susceptible to being triggered by some of the most minute things that may come up. Something really small may come up, and you find yourself blowing up, freaking out, and everyone else around you is like, what is going on? Why are they so upset or frustrated or perplexed about that little thing? It causes for our perspective on life to be skewed in a direction that could be dangerous for our health, our well-being, and our relationships, right? So this is what will happen if we don't deal with this one thing that every one of us have to, all of us experience it, and that one thing is pain, right? So how do we handle, how do we deal with pain when it shows up in our life in a healthy way so that we don't repeat that same cycle of pain again and again and again? Hello, 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 right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what are ways for us to approach pain in our life in a healthy way so that when it shows up again, or right now, it may be happening for you right now in this present moment, how do you navigate through the painful storms that come knocking at your door? Because here's the thing, none of us are exempt from pain. We will all experience it at some point. Whether that pain would be experiencing, for if I'm talking to students, your parents divorcing, or maybe sharing your goal, a dream, a desire that you have, and you putting forth the effort to try to make it happen, and it fails. And you told everybody that you were going to do this one thing. You told your family, you told your friends, you told classmates that aren't even close to you, you told teachers, you told coaches, and you went out and failed. That's painful. That's embarrassing, right? Or painful moments such as struggling with weight, right? You've been trying to get a handle on your weight, get a handle on eating right, or trying to find the right thing to that your body responds well to, and it doesn't seem to be working. And every time you try, it seems like you fail every single time. Like you're not getting any closer to what you would want to maintain as for healthy weight, right? Other pains could be caused by abuse, physical abuse, abandonment, failing a test that you studied for. What? You put in all that time and effort, you hired a tutor, you went to all the classes, you did everything that you were supposed to do, and you still failed. Painful. Finding out that, you have people gossiping about you, spreading rumors about you, and you're like, that painful, right? Misunderstanding. You said something, it was taken the wrong way, and now your good friend is thinking all kinds of sideways about you because of a misunderstanding. Painful. Getting dumped by someone that you thought was going to be your forever love. Painful. Every single one of us experience this one thing, pain. Now, let's talk about how to effectively navigate pain when it's happening so that you can make healthy decisions in that painful moment to help you to sustain your health and relationships. Let's go for it. Number one, the first thing, and it's three things. Number one is to first know. You can be at ease in knowing that you are not alone, that you're not the only one that's experiencing a painful moment. Every single one of us is either, this is the life cycle of storms, you're either in the middle of a storm, painful experience, you're about to head out of one, or you're getting ready to go into one. That is the cycle that every single one of us go through. We all may be in different phases of it, but all of us will experience pain. So you can find comfort in that you are not alone in it. Number two is to get to safety. What do I mean by get to safety? You may be watching this, whether live or whether on a recording of this broadcast, and you may not be in a safe environment. I was in that situation as a child, wasn't safe at home. So when if this was, in my situation, how would I get to safety? Well, safety became many different things for me being in that environment. I created safe places for myself at home that no one else knew about, or certain places that everyone knew about, and they came to learn that when I went to those places to leave me be. So I created a couple of safe places at home in that very tumultuous environment, whether it was a closet, under the bed, or way up on the roof in a very precarious spot on the roof that most wouldn't dare come to. Right? That was my safe place. It was like, oh, that sounds pretty dangerous, but it became my safe place. So get to safety. So whether that safe place for you may be in your car, maybe in your closet, it may be at the track, you know, where you do your practices for sports. It may be in a specific classroom. Find that. It may be in a church. It may be it may be just stepping outside and going on the porch, right? Get to safety. So that's the second thing. The third thing is then to be still. Be still. Once you get into that safe place, be still. One of the toughest things for the majority of us is that when we're experiencing a painful time, the first thing we want to do is first thing that kicks in is either the fight or flight response, right? Some would say frozen. Frozen is another one that they would say would take place where someone would do nothing. They would just stay right there where they are and can't think beyond just right now. They've stopped. They can't even think, right? So fight, flight, or they freeze. This is something that as you practice, you will learn how to be still, to not run to that thing that you have trained yourself to run to avoid the pain. Whether that thing is, we went over it earlier, shopping, overeating, drinking, drinking toxins, alcohol, vaping, smoking, extreme forms of exercise. And when I say extreme, I'm talking like you're pushing beyond the threshold of what your body system can tolerate, which could lead to system failure. And I promise you, the majority of people, 99.99%, are never training in that realm. Okay, so you really don't have much to worry about if when it comes to exercise like that. Yeah. So instead of running to that thing, running to the phone, scrolling through, or calling up that friend that you know you like to share gossip with or whatever, instead of doing that, be still. How do you be still? How do you anchor yourself in stillness? I've led into stillness in different ways, whether it's praying, whether it's journaling, whether it's singing a song about, now here's the key thing, about whatever is going on. Now, it may not start that way for me if I'm singing, but I guarantee you, my prayer and my journaling, I would immediately start to write about what is happening in the moment that is causing distress, that is causing dis-ease within me. This is being still, where you're not trying to run or avoid the situation. And you may not be ready to start to address what is taking place in prayer, journaling, or singing. You may just have the energy to just sit there or walk, to calm down, to where you can take that next step to start to vocalize what is taking place, right? And I encourage you to journal, to pray, to sing about what is happening. Don't try to escape and go somewhere else off to Never Land. Stay right there, okay? And as you're doing this, I want to encourage you to talk about what's happening. Be very specific and clear about what's happening in that moment. How is it making you feel in that moment? And then what decision would be best for you and those who will be directly impacted by your decision. What's the best decision? What is the quality? What is the result that you desire to experience for yourself and those who will be directly impacted by your decision? Because oftentimes what happens is when we're experiencing pain, we tend to forget about everybody else and we're just focusing on how this painful experience is making me feel. We make it all about us, and then we react out of that pain, and then we do something that we ultimately will regret. And then that just creates another painful situation that now we have to work through that one thing and then this next thing that we created because of us not doing these things that I'm mentioning right now. I'm speaking to you from this because I've done all the things you shouldn't do. And it was not a good result at all. Okay? When I say that instead of being still, I have reacted in the moment to deal with a situation when I wasn't clear. I didn't think through, I didn't finish the story. Finishing the story means that you consider what your decision, the impact your decision is going to have, not just on you, but every single person that is connected to you. And generations that you may never meet will be impacted by your one decision. This is how weighted this is. And when you give yourself a chance to be still and you think of these things and process through, the decision that you will end up making will oftentimes be the one that will help to sustain your health and well-being, those directly connected to you, their health and well-being, as well as your relationships. I do have a couple more things I would love to share with you on what else would help you to effectively navigate pain so that you can successfully sustain your health and relationships. But I'm not sure if you guys, if any of what I'm sharing is really helpful. If it is helpful, type into the comments that it is, and I'll share these bonus ones with you that I think are golden. That would just help to elevate all of what I just shared with you so far. If it's helpful, say yes, it's helpful, and share. Put it in the comments, and then I'll share it with you. If not, then we can just end it right here and move on with our evening and call it. We can put a button on it right there, right here, and right there. All right, I don't see anyone commenting on this. So we're going to go ahead and end it right there. Use those steps that I've shared so far. And if you would like to hear what the next level would be to ensure that these steps that I've shared with you so far will work no matter what, you message me, comment under this video, say, hey, can you do another, like a part 2 on what those other steps would be that would really power up what we talked about so far and ensure that you will see success every single time when pain comes knocking at your door. Because here's the thing, none of us are exempt from it. We live in a fallen world, and every single one of us are going to experience painful situations, whether it's in our health, whether it's with our education, whether it's relationships. It's going to hit. It's going to hit. And it's better for us to know how to respond in a healthy way so we can continue to move forward to the next step in our journey, where we're not experiencing or feeling regret because of a poor decision that we made in a past painful season. So looking forward to chatting with you guys more on our next Mind Style Makeover Monday. If this was helpful for you in any way, shape, or form, make sure to like this video, share it, and then comment below and let me know what you took from this that you found applicable to your situation that you may be experiencing right now, or something that you're like, you know what, if I knew this and applied it to a situation that happened in my past, I could see how I would have different results. Let's keep this conversation going. All right. Again, my name is Tabitha Christopher of tabithachristopher.com, and you are tuning into the weekly Mind Style Makeover Mondays chat. Right here and across all my social media platforms, all of our chats are saved to my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed there, you can go ahead and subscribe over there so you can catch up on all the talks that we've had thus far. And spoiler alert, they were all pretty good. All right. Have a most wonderful evening, and chat with you all soon.